Hold on. Bow, right there. In defense of Candace Owens by the one that they love to hate, Gothix. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I'm telling you, we about to get into it, and we're gonna react to it because I got some things I want to say, man. Got some things I want to say. You know, hopefully, Senpai will notice me. I'm joking, y'all. I'm just having fun today. Let's get into it. Oh, and a 1 and a 2. All right.
The online brawl that I didn't see coming, but I'm glad happened because now I have a great topic to talk about. My name is Gothix, and today we're discussing the Candace Owens versus Cardi B showdown.
Oh,
well,
God.
kinda. I'm someone who tries my best to stay out of drama, especially when it's on a public forum, because I believe that two adults should be able to solve their problems privately, like adults. That being said, while most of Twitter was focused on the clapbacks and the tea that came from this interaction, I saw this as an opportunity to shed some light on a problem within Black American culture that needs to be addressed. Luckily for you, real talk is my favorite type of talk. So, how did this start? Well, as some of you know, Candace is a conservative political commentator who's had many harsh criticisms in the past of American culture, or specifically Black American culture.
That's true.
Of course, these criticisms usually result in her being labeled as anti-Black or a Black white supremacist, which is literally the most nonsensical insult I have heard to date.
That is true. Like, I can't tell you, right, how many times people within this community, right, within the Black community, you know, these so people that are saying Black people are not a monolith. The same people that say that are the same ones that will literally out you for having a different opinion than them. Literally out you. And ask me how I know, because I've dealt with this myself. Okay, I've dealt with this. Okay, for those that don't know, I dealt with this stuff. It came to a head last year when I didn't agree fully with everything that was going on with the riots and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The George Floyd riots and all that. I didn't agree with a lot of that. And also, I called somebody else out on Twitter too. That was a part of Black Streamer Twitter that was tripping over my tweets, talking about they didn't like my tweets and wanted to try to call me out on the Twitch channel, and thinking that I was just going to tuck my tail and run. But I digress. Let's get into it. Based on the circles I'm in, is a pimple and pig's ass in the Black community, and even me. She's not. It's because what Candace Owens does is she literally has a different opinion than what black folks think. A lot of people think that it's, you know, a lot of people, especially that people in that sector, think that it's always the white man, or, you know what I'm saying, it's somebody else that's causing the issues in the Black community, when a lot of those issues in the Black community are self-inflicted. And we'll get to that in a second. All right, we'll get to that in a second. I don't know why. Look, OBS, I'm gonna need you to stop playing. All right, OBS, I'm gonna need you to quit playing with your boy. All right, hold up. Something's gotta give. Something's about to get cut off right quick. Hold on, cut that off. Close that window. I don't know why. OBS, why are you tripping? All right, it says it's dropping frames for me. Is it dropping frames for y'all? Sending love from the truck. What up, Funk Dr. Spock? How you doing, bro? And I'm sending love right back to you. All right, give me a second. All right, are we? Okay, it looks like we good. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I was not expecting OBS to act a plumb fool today. There we go. Turn that one off. There we go. Okay. Thought it was a scammer when I was just trying to help. Yeah, no, that's the problem, because these people, man, a lot of those people, they're so used to their own fucking dysfunction, bro. Like I said, you just got to choose your battles with those types of people, man, because a lot of them aren't as open-minded as they say they are. But we're gonna get into that in a minute.
And as someone who's constantly demonized as anti-black for the contents of this channel, I was drawn to Candace because I know firsthand what it feels like to be attacked when you only have the best interests of others in mind. And before I get some Cardi B fans yelling at me in the comments, let me make this clear. Constructive criticism and attacking someone are two entirely different things.
That part right there. Did y'all hear what she said? I'm gonna go back.
Criticism and attacking someone are two entirely different things.
Two different things. I don't know why y'all think, some of y'all in that sector, and I'm gonna talk to some of y'all that think constructive criticism and attacking people are the same. It's not, okay? They're two different things. And the problem is, a lot of y'all don't want to be corrected. That's what that is. A lot of y'all don't want to be corrected. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be rude. And if it doesn't fit you, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to that person that's watching this video that don't want to take accountability. All right? Tell me. All right.
And if you can't take constructive criticism, then you're in the wrong industry. You think I enjoy having a bunch of people tell me I mispronounce words all the time in my video? No. But they're right. And that being said, what I've observed about this so-called anti-black rhetoric that Candace promotes, in my opinion, is very pro-black. The recent beef between these two ladies stemmed after Candace got on Fox News and criticized Cardi B's performance at the Grammys. For context, I'm gonna play that clip for you now, but if you've got some small kids near you, I suggest you yeet them out of the room.
Forget about mathematics.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh boy, here we go. Let's look at this clip, and I'm gonna give y'all my opinion on this whole thing. But let's try to watch through this, and let's try to watch through this. We're gonna go through this, and I'm gonna try to not pause as much because I got so much shit that I want to tell y'all about this.
In science, you can trust the science and trust Dr. Fauci, but you had these kids learning about critical race theory. They're learning that they should aspire to people like Cardi B. That you see that fundamentally we are seeing the destruction of American values, American principles, and it's terrifying. I think parents should be terrified that this is the direction that our society is heading towards. And again, we are weakening America. That's really what we should be talking about. This is a weakening of American society. We are setting the stage, and it feels like we are looking at corrosion, like we are about to see the end of an empire. America cannot survive. It cannot be sustained under these sorts of values and principles.
And if you can imagine, this criticism was not.
Now, how do I put this? I'm going to say this as safely as possible, right? I hear Cardi B is extremely disrespected, respectful to support her own staff too, to her own support staff too. She probably is. See, now let me make this clear, right? I have no issue, and I actually agree with the fact that how media is, I like the fact that media is becoming more, more open with sexuality. Like that's dope. I like that concept of, some people are more upfront about their sexuality, right? I have no problem with that. Okay. The fact that, more people are, we're shedding light on the adult entertainment industry, I personally think is a good thing. Okay. A lot of people, especially like the more conservative people, tend to think that it's an issue, it's a problem. I disagree, because to me, it's a form of self-expression, right? I have no issue with music like with music coming from like City Girls, Cardi B, you know what I'm saying? Because it's been done. It's not nothing new. It's been done before, but in a more underground-esque thing, and with other artists, it wasn't as forefront. So the fact that it's coming, it's coming to the forefront, to me, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Because I personally appreciate those who do sex work. I appreciate those who does stripping and stuff like that, and exotic dancers. I respect the art form. You know what I'm saying? I've worked in the industry. For those who don't know, prior to COVID, I was working as a strip club DJ, and I enjoyed it. I was curious about it. I got into it. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I like doing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Draco, thank you for the host, bro. Yo, thank you for the host. Guess who's back? Yes, sir. Welcome back, man. But I have no problem with this idea of pushing, artists pushing boundaries. I have no disagreement with that, and I encourage it. However, Cardi B is the last person I would expect to be in this type of position. Cardi B is not the person that I would support doing this. That's just me. You have actual Keyblade? Nice. That's what's up. I like that. But yeah, so we're doing this reaction video, so kind of laser focused right now. All right. So like I said, Cardi B is the last person, personally, that I would expect and support to be in the front lines. I wouldn't support Cardi B. But let's continue.
Not well received by Cardi or a lot of her fans. But if I've learned anything from upload,
Unlucky. Shh, stay out of my head. Stay out of my head, Unlucky. You're saying the same thing I'm thinking. Stop it.
Content to this channel is that a lot of people would rather be lied to and have their ego stroked rather than hear.
I said, okay, thank you, Sonic Buster. Sonic Buster, thank you for coming by. Oh yeah, she's definitely dope. Definitely dope.
Is that a lot of people would rather be lied to and have their ego stroked rather than hear the truth. Now, let me start off by
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
Lied to. Anything from uploading content to this channel is that a lot of people would rather be lied to and have their ego stroked rather than hear the truth. Now, let me start off by saying I'm a big believer in freedom of expression. I don't believe that art should be censored. However, I do believe that some parameters should be taken into consideration.
That right there. That. I agree the same thing. Okay. And I just mentioned it earlier. I have no problem with Sonic Buster, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. I have no problem. Right? I have no problem with people expressing themselves, like artists pushing the limit. I have no problem with that. The problem that I have is how it's being portrayed. And I'll get to that in a second. Let's continue. Take part in social stances require sacrifice of time during the time. Wait a second. I'm at work and just listening to what I heard with Sonic What's this here? And totally have to say I'm a fan. Uh-oh. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's keep it going.
For example, why do you think that porn doesn't air on daytime television? Probably because kids would watch it. Now, I'm not saying that Cardi's performance was porn, but it's not too far off.
I just see, and that's the okay. This is where me and Gothix disagree at, right? Okay, the fact that it's becoming more prevalent. Okay, this is where I say when it comes to that little performance thing, this is where parenting comes in, right? Because Cardi B's music is not for kids. Okay, this is what happens when you put people just in front of the TV, right? You put your kids in front of the TV and you don't talk about what's going on, right? As parents, they've let their kids sit in front of the TV, and now all of a sudden, WAP is now the new #1 song. But wait, we have a problem because Dr. Seuss is an issue. Dr. Seuss is racist. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because if anything, Cardi B as a rapper should learn from Dr. Seuss. But I'm just gonna sip my tea. Just saying. I can see your explanation. What's up, Birdman? I have no problem with Cardi B as an entertainer. What I have a problem with is how society feels fictional characters like Pepe Le Pew and Speedy Gonzalez are seen as detrimental to kids, but Cardi B is seen as empowerment. I'll get to the women in power part. I'm gonna get to that part. We gonna get to that. I'm gonna try to save it to the end. So let's keep it moving. What else says she does has to pretend that she loves WAP. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. We gonna get to that, but let's keep it moving.
When I was a kid, I remember being able to watch these award shows without feeling like my eyeballs were sexually assaulted. Yes, culture is changing, and yes, celebrities have always pushed the boundaries of scandalous outfits to wear on the red carpet. But overall, I find it very hard to believe that most parents would allow their child to watch a performance like Cardi's. And I know what you're gonna say. Well, parents should just watch their kids.
Yes.
And while you are right that it's not Cardi's responsibility, let's consider the bigger picture for a second. According to the FBI, blacks commit the most homicides compared to any other race in America.
Yes.
If we look at an isolated area such as New York, 62% of murder suspects happen to be black. Oof. I know that Black Lives Matter...
Wait, go back. Now, she just said 62% of them the suspects are black. But also... You want to know what else is funny? Look at that picture again. Not only are they the highest suspect rate in New York, right? They're also the highest victim rate. Y'all see this? The highest victim rate too. 56.6 victim rate. But when we talk about black on black crime, it's a problem. What? Hello? Wow. Y'all see this shit? This graph is racist. Oh my Jesus. Oh, see, OBS don't want me to be great today. That's all right. OBS don't want me to be great, but we gonna do it. I don't care. All right, OBS, quit playing with me. All right. OBS don't want me to be great today because they like, you talking about Gothix. We don't want to see it. It's pretty much inevitable based on what was explained to me. I just, like I said, that doesn't excuse it. But anywho, let's get into it.
62% of murder suspects happen to be black. I know that Black Lives Matter supporters don't like when black on black crime is brought up, but I find it very contradicting to hear that these people care more about black lives when it involves a white officer, but not the constant gang violence that plagues our cities. Next up.
That part.
Only 30% of black American households have both parents at home, and studies show that kids who are raised by both parents are more likely to have a better outcome in life. This isn't to say that it's not possible to thrive in a single-parent household, but statistically speaking, those who have both parents tend to stay out of trouble, do better in school, and are taught discipline. One might say, well, the reason that most black households only have one parent at home is because the fathers were locked up as a result of systemic racism.
Really?
Uh-huh. Moving on.
We had the same. We had the same reaction. Yo, what up, Thuggy? How you doing, man? We are reacting to Gothix. We over here reacting to Gothix. Black on black is the problem, though. Can't continue to sweep issues under the rug. There are pros and cons of black culture. I grew up in the 80s and 90s around gangster rap. Yes, it was entertaining, but we can't sit there and say it didn't have an effect on culture. That's the point. But see, if we bring it up, it's an issue. That's the problem. The fact that we can't even bring it up now, because if we do, it's a problem. You know, we're spouting, you know, anti-black rhetoric. There are thousands of gangs in the U.S. that commit crimes daily. Yeah, exactly. Oftentimes, immediate geography, environment, including neighbors, all play a role. Man, I'm gonna disagree with you on that, because it's not just about geography. It's also about mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because if you put a black person in with the right people, with that, you know, in the suburbs, ain't no black person gonna sit up here and think about stealing if they have the 2-parent household. They live in the suburbs. It's also like I said, but if they're in that hood, or they were raised in single parent households, a lot of that has that mentality too. Now, I could be wrong about that. Like I said, I'm probably not saying that right, but you get where I'm coming from. But like, they want to solve these problems, but you have to recognize the numbers. After that, it's a matter of, okay, is there something that we can do, what we can do to curb that? I guarantee that burning down cities and blame Whitey doesn't fix that. Exactly. It doesn't. But let's read it. Let's go on. Let's continue.
Of black women have non-marital births, compared to 51% for Hispanics, 28% for whites, and 11% for Asians. And while it's not entirely necessary to get married before marriage, there's usually a reason that people do it. Next up, there's the matter of STI.
So let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back.
51% for Hispanic.
And 20 for 3 race and Hispanic origin groups, and non-Hispanic 62%, and non-Hispanic black 69.4. Damn, that's higher than the Hispanics. Cause wow, woof, that's 2018. Hence why the numbers come out the way they do. That's how specific explanation was. See, that's the thing. You're listening to people. I'm gonna tell you, Legend. You're listening to people who have the same rhetoric, bro. Because I know where you're getting some of that from. You're listening to people who don't want to hear the fact that it's not even just about who's next to who. It's also about the mentality. You know what I'm saying? The same people that were raised in that type of blacks next to blacks were also taught that, oh, well, white people are bad. White people, you know, white people did this, white people did that. So they have that underlying anti-hate against white people. And we see it is evident in today's society too. Even with like Cardi B and stuff like that. Like, people are pushing that agenda. Oh, in case idiots find the stream, I'm half white, half Native American. So you can only call me half racist. Oh man, that's funny. I'm gonna come back to that in a second.
Whites and 11% for Asians. And while it's not entirely necessary to get married before marriage, there's usually
married before marriage. I think she meant to have kids before marriage. I think that's what she meant. The child rate. But that's true, though.
A reason that people do it. Next up, there's the matter of STIs. According to the CDC, young black women rank the highest for STIs than any other race in America. And while the CDC does point this to...
Wait. Sheesh. Critical race theory only... Yes, exactly. That's what it does. Even Charles Barkley said he wasn't a role model. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Cardi. I'm gonna get to Cardi in a minute, but let's finish this video.
For STIs than any other race in America. And while the CDC does point this disparity towards systemic racism, could someone please explain to me how systemic racism prevented someone from practicing safe sex?
That part.
There are clinics that give condoms out for free. Now we have the matter of abortions. Let me make this clear. I am a live and let live person. So if you want to do whatever's to your body, have at it. Does not concern me. That being said, it's still very alarming to know that Black women abort their babies at a much higher rate compared to other races. So when I see that Black women rank the highest for STIs and highest for unmarital births, that tells me there's either a parenting problem or a culture problem.
That part. I'm going to lean more towards the cultural problem. It's a parenting problem too, let's be fair, because single parent household, also lack of accountability problem too. We're going to say that too. Because this
is exactly why I believe that certain parameters should be in place to prevent kids from absorbing this type of stuff. Granted, it won't solve every problem, but it's better than nothing. That would be like having no age restrictions on alcohol. Yeah, kids can still get their hands on it, but imagine how worse it would be if those guidelines were not in place. And of course, we have other factors such as entertainment. And again, I am a huge believer in freedom of expression. But if the most trending songs out of Black culture tend to be those that glorify gang violence or promote promiscuity, I can't help but wonder if the culture has any correlation to the data. But the thing that really bothered me about this interaction was how this was perceived by the liberal media. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion served up a very sex-positive performance, and they gloriously twerked and strutted, says CNN. What's interesting about this article is it reminds me of an interaction I had on Twitter a few years ago. I found this thread where a Black woman was angry about a viral video featuring a gay Asian man who was twerking and using all kinds of gestures like this and yas and all this stuff. In her post, she said she wished that people would stop using Black women as caricatures. Instantly, I thought to myself, why is she bringing up race? Because to say that this man was using Black women as caricatures is to imply that the behavior he's exhibiting is specific to Black women. So I ended up leaving a comment on the post, to which I said, not all Black women act like that. And personally, I find that behavior to be a little ratchet. And I'm sure you can guess what the responses were to my comment. But despite...
She probably got toe up in the comments for that one. I mean, not every Black woman is the same. And a lot of people don't want it. Honestly, generally, I agree. A lot of people don't want to deal with that ratchetry. You know what I'm saying? Cardi technically denounced the role model status and told parents to be more in control of their children. That's true. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. Y'all go ahead, keep going in the comments at it. I'm gonna talk about that shit because this shit's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you.
Despite how upsetting it is to hear that someone refers to that behavior as ratchet, then how would you define it? Is it classy? Is it professional? Is it empowering? Or does it further perpetuate the same stereotypes that Black women hate hearing? I've been a content creator for the past 4 years, and one thing that I always keep in the back of my mind is when it comes to branding, it doesn't matter what your intent is, it matters how it's perceived. So if you want to act in the manner that Cardi B does, that's your right. But to suggest that the public shouldn't assume that her behavior is ratchet, by the way, her behavior, not her personally, would be like me.
I'm glad she made that distinction. I'm glad she made that distinction between the behavior and the person. Some people, you can't tell the difference between the two because they act so much like their behavior, they become that. But let me
expecting new viewers to see my haircut and not assume that I'm an angry SJW. This is probably my favorite comment that I get from you guys, so thank you so much for bringing a smile to my face. Oh, and before I forget, let's take a look at what Planned Parenthood had to say about this performance. Shout out to the iconic Black women using the power of pleasure as a form of resistance.
Why would Planned Parenthood have anything to say about something like that? Planned Parenthood, what is wrong with y'all? Who runs y'all social media account?
Followed by, join us as we discuss how the energy of Grammy Award-winning The Stallion's Savage remix and other Black women's music is shifting the culture and influencing conversations around sexuality and body autonomy. Okay, I have no problems with body autonomy, but what I do have a problem with is an enabler. And as I showed you earlier in this video, black women take the lead for STIs, premarital births, and abortions. And if I were to add black on black crime to that mix before considering all of these factors, it looks an awful lot like the extermination of the black race. Which, interestingly enough, if you know anything about Planned Parenthood's history, you would know that it was founded by Margaret Sanger.
Yup, and I know exactly where she's going with this, but I know where she's going with this. Let's let her continue.
A nurse and educator who not only spoke at KKK rallies, but also believed in eugenics, a belief in improving the human race through selective breeding which targeted the disabled, the poor, and people of color. So when I see... a post like this, I can't help but think to myself, why didn't they use this opportunity to promote safe sex rather than the power of pleasure as a form of resistance? Resistance against what? Safe sex? Because statistically speaking, that would make sense. This has nothing.
It's not only just the resistance against safe sex, it's the resistance of also the anti-man narrative too, but we'll get into that in a second.
Nothing to do about societal standards. This is simply common sense. If a child isn't allowed to drink, smoke, or serve their country, then why would we turn a blind eye to the facts? And the facts being, a lot of black youth simply lack guidance and discipline. And when they grow up, there's a possibility that that behavior will be passed down to their kids. So how do you break the cycle? Well, in my opinion, having honest conversations like this and holding people accountable for the decisions that they make are a great way to start.
That part.
And how do you keep the problem going? Easy. Blame everything on systemic racism and call it a day. And that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it...
Yo, I'm telling you, that was a good video from Gothix, y'all. That shit was crazy.
The Dynasty